Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's bite-sized guide to directors' liability and IP infringement. My name is Alan Harper, and today we're going to be talking about directors' liability in the context of IP infringement. So firstly, some introductions. So my name is Alan Harper. I'm the head of intellectual property at Walker Morris LLP. Walker Morris is a full service, single site firm based in Leeds in Yorkshire. And we are a corporate commercial firm specializing in all sorts of things, including intellectual property, which is where I come in. And I am a full scope IP specialist. And what I mean by that is I specialize in all intellectual property rights, so patents, trademarks, copyright, designs, domains, online, confidential information, you name it. And I also deal with both contentious and non-contentious issues. And I find that that's really helpful when I'm talking about topics such as this, because it's really important to view this issue and issues of a similar nature through both a contentious and a non-contentious lens. Now, naturally, one would think this issue is something that would be considered in a contentious setting, and indeed that is the case. However, it's also very relevant in a non-contentious setting because you'll see as we go through the session today that these issues will naturally begin pre-issue, where parties are undertaking courses of action and they are doing certain things that could in time give rise to directors' liability. And I also see this issue in the context of M&A work, where if you're looking to acquire a business, if one of the directors has been acting in such a way that you are concerned about personal liability moving forward, that's perhaps something you would want to know about sooner rather than later. So we're going to cover a certain number of things today. As I say, it's a bite-sized session, so not too much time, but we're going to have a canter through a few areas. Firstly, we're going to start with the current law on directors' liability. We're going to look at where we stand at the moment, just to set the scene. Next, we're going to look at some case law examples, and unsurprisingly, this issue has been considered in a number of cases, many of which have been quite complex and have run through multiple layers of the judicial system. And there's some really interesting cases that go through the various stages, and you can see how the decision has flipped or turned or been amended or further guidance has come out. And that's really helpful for us as practitioners, because if you ever find yourself advising in this area, there's plenty to go at in cases. Then next, we're going to look at how to use directors' liability as a tool for when acting as a claimant. Now, unsurprisingly, this is something that happens quite a lot, that a claimant will seek to bring in the directors when they are considering an infringement claim. And there's multiple reasons for that, which we'll come into. But fundamentally, it's really important that if you're advising on the claimant side, you're aware of this as a potential tool to use, because it is a very powerful one. And because of the consequences of director's liability, naturally, if you're acting on the defendant side, you really need to be careful how you're advising that. And indeed, making sure that your client is fully aware and cognizant of the potential risks, because naturally, if somebody is facing personal liability, all of a sudden that's a very different scenario.